is attending via Zoom.
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell.
Here. And salute to the flag led by Gary Cromwell. All right, let's go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all. Thank you, Terry. Need a motion to approve last month's meetings.
I will make a motion to approve the January meeting minutes.
Moved by Terry, a second.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that carries. Thank you. Privilege of the floor. I'm pleased and honored to be representing Canadice and attending the Association of Towns annual meeting. Coming up real soon. Privileged to tell you all the fun things you get to learn. Any other privilege of the floor at this time? Okay. Communications, a few of those I just want to highlight. One, I want to thank Eileen, our town clerk, for printing out the Ontario County Hazard Mitigation Plan. It's quite thorough. There's a lot there, but it's good to look at. Item 12, I also want to highlight. We are requesting that any town resident or any Ontario County residents fill out the tourism survey. It's online, it's quick, it's easy, and eventually there will be a QR code to make it even smoother. Please pass that on and get email that out on February 4th. Okay, and now we're in the reports, town clerk.
Okay, paying to the supervisor for the general fund, $1,192.50. For water billing, $19,056.71. Animal population control fund, $18 for a total disbursement of $20,267.21. And the town warrant has been completely paid to the supervisor of $947,463.50. And I'll be sending a check for $500,000 to the treasurer this week to start paying them. And that's all I have.
I'll move to approve that report.
Terry seconds.
Terry seconds. And Terry seconds. Those in favor?
Aye.
That carries. Thank you, Eileen. Historian report you have in your packets. She continues to do some nice work for us and giving us a report every month. In fact, the first report I received 2 months in a row has been this historian report. CEO. Anything in addition?
No, nothing in addition. Other than we're all caught up with the short term final permits. So any new ones that come into the report.
I got another observation. Rich had reformatted the CEO report, and so it's a lot more information on less paper. Yes. And that's also appreciated. A fine job by Rich Jokey. Thanks for that. But halfway through the video. Okay, thank you for that report. Planning board, Ted Mayhood.
Yeah, the planning board met on January 22nd of 24. Didn't have any agenda items. One thing that we did was to put forth a motion to folks on the town board. Ms. Nesco, Caroline Nesco, permanent member of the board. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Okay, next up we have CBA, no report. I don't believe they met. Jeremy Frame, Highway Superintendent.
All right. Did a couple weather related issues last month. On the evening of January 9th, we had an event. 40-45 mile an hour steady winds gusting to 60. For the most part, we fared pretty well. There were, a dozen trees that came down that and spent a couple days cleaning up. There was one on Jersey Hill Road right at, Ingrich's driveway, 60-foot tall white pine tree that had an 8-foot split right up the backside of it, and it was leaning out over the road. It was very dangerous, and it would have come down with the next wind gust. So I had a tree surgeon come and remove that.
Is that the Bloomfield Tree Brothers, that one?
Yep. Yeah, he was recommended by the town of Bristol. Then we also had pretty significant rain mixed in with our melting snowpack from up on top of the hill. There was probably, at the time, I would say there's probably 8 to 10 inches of snow up in Harry Hollister Park. Mixed in with, you know, the inch and a half of rain that we got. It did cause a little bit of flooding issues down along 36, mostly county's issues. We did have spent a couple days there driving around, making sure all of our pipes were cleaned out. There again, being proactive with what we do, checking pipes, cleaning sticks out of them, comes back to save us in an event like that. Sent guys out one day to do sign surveys so we can have a list of signs put together that we need to replace from ones that have either been shot, are no longer reflective, hard to read, that sort of thing. Shot. Oh, yeah, people think it's fun to shoot their gun off at stop signs. Filled some potholes. We've been hauling gravel out of the town of East Bloomfield's gravel pit to use up on the dirt road. We've also been hauling crusher run. We did go up onto the dirt road and spread a couple loads of gravel to help take the curse off of some of the potholes up there. And I also had B&B Recycling bring a roll-off trailer, and we loaded up all the scrap pipes that we had sitting out back. Just to make some more room.
Did they pay us for that, by any chance?
Probably not yet, that was just last week.
Well, we'll get some, yeah,
Yeah, they'll cut us a check. It was Thursday last week. I think.
excellent.
So we've made 22 plow salt runs since January meeting. That's with the entire fleet, 3 with just a truck or 2, mostly just for drifting issues. We were talking about this a little before the meeting, but I did end up buying another set of the React snowplow blades that are spring loaded and adjust to the contour of the road. We've been struggling with County Road 37 for not just this year, but previous years, trying to get it cleaned and not use as much material as we have been using on it, so. With what we've seen so far, and I know it's only been limited to a couple snowfalls. They are working great. We went through and adjusted our routes a little bit, so now I just have one truck that runs the entire length of County Road 37 instead of 2 different trucks. And in doing so, we calibrated that truck. Whereas before he was putting down salt and sand, now he's running just salt. He was running somewhere around 530 pounds a lane mile of mix. Now he's running 335 of just salt. So we've had a substantial savings in the material just in what he's using on a normal trip. But also by having the trucks calibrated, which we also went through and we've done all of them. We know that if we don't need to use as much salt, we can turn the dial down a percentage, and we know we're going from 300 to 225, 250, whatever it is. So, no, this is a working plan for us. We're trying to be the best stewards we can for the environment, but also maintain the high quality service that we like to give.
So you can alter by 1% the feed rate.
The feed rate, the speed, there's a lot of things that go into the amount of material that you can put down or not put down.
Yep.
And we've taken in 500 tons from salt from Cargill. And actually it's more than that now. I've met my 50% requirement that I have to purchased through the OGS requirement, so. At this point, I no longer need to purchase any more salt through Cargill. I did sign a separate contract right at the beginning of winter with American Rock Salt. It's $1.25 a ton cheaper. It's not a huge savings, but
Sure.
when you're buying 500 tons of salt, that's enough to pay for 10 loads of sand. So. That's all I got.
Thank you very much.
Good job.
Terry, you're, when you.
I had to update my report. Sorry about that. Right? The dynamic. Area.
Lake temperature just went up. The lake temperature just.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, we've only had 4 weeks of ice cover on the lake this year. Ice in January 16th, and it's an ice is completely out of the southern lake basin, but not the northern. Just so everybody realizes this, and I know Mark does. If I go back 10, 15, 20 years ago, we used to get 12, 13, 14 weeks of ice cover in winter. And we would have ice fishing all winter. This is the second winter in a row where we are not having sufficient ice cover. And for Kate, that means look out come next spring and summer. Second, we got some rain and storm there about a month ago. And we had the snow melt. Lake level rose to be about a foot high. And I checked the lake level every morning at 11 a.m. electronically. And the lake level was only going down 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch a day. When the lake is a foot high, it should be going down about 8/10 of an inch to an inch. So we investigated, that's on the revised report. And Mill Creek about 3 years ago cut a breach in the peninsula between Mill Creek and the outlet. Last summer, the town of Richmond got an emergency permit. Jeremy's team helped them. They cleaned out the shale in the outlet and Mill Creek. Water started flowing back down Mill Creek by Mill Creek Cafe. If you look closely at that picture, that's a picture of the breach behind Mill Creek Cafe, Kate. There's 0 water going by the cafe. It is all going through the breach into the outlet, which means the shale is ending up in the outlet. And just so everybody knows, the town of Richmond has been working for over 2 years to get a master permit to do mitigation on Mill Creek to stabilize it, to minimize the shale coming down. They have been unable to get a permit. So what'll have to happen here is yet another, this would be the 3rd or 4th emergency permit. And if they don't, I'm just checking to make sure Kate's listening. If they don't, by the time Kate comes back, the water will be up in Kate's yard, if not to her house. Because as soon as we start getting spring rain, lake level is going to go up. I'll watch it for you, Kate.
Yeah, thanks. Should we start writing letters, Terry?
What?
Should we start writing letters again?
What did she say?
Writing letters to the DEC.
Yeah, yes. Start writing
Okay.
letters again, advocate.
Okay,
Not yet, because the town of Richmond hasn't decided how they're going to respond. Not yet.
okay,
We may, but you have to understand an emergency permit to remove shale and sediment in a creek is something that is discouraged.
mhm,
And they've already gotten 3 permits, emergency permits. What needs to happen is the permit to mitigate the shale from getting there in the first place. So enough of that. but that is a real problem. On January 31st, Dorothy and I were at a Finger Lakes Research Conference in Geneva, and the DEC primes for our elm treatment were there. We talked to them. They agreed with us and our data that the results did not meet their expectations either. And they have launched an internal investigation as to why. That's all I got there. And just after our board meeting in January, I think I sent everybody an email. We were awarded $3,000 grant from the Ontario County Water Resource Council for educational outreach and accessories for the boat cleaning station. I sent everyone an email with a link to our 2024 Winter Task Force newsletter. You should have that. So hopefully you found that informative. And Chris, I know, and Kate, I know you're very supportive of the HVA roadside pickup, and it's going to be Saturday morning, April 20th. So mark that on your calendars. And that is my update.
Thank you. Assessor report is in your packets, and if there's questions, we might discuss some of that later. Water district operations, Kate.
So they pumped just over 700,000 gallons in January, which is approximately 100,000 gallons more than the previous January. I took a look, and it's because there was one extra pump during the month. So operations are normal.
And thank you.
Rest,
Yes,
I realized that I had it back on my,
we could go back to Jeremy.
all right,
Absolutely.
just real quick. The new F-550 is at MDI. We were up there last week picking up the old truck. They are almost complete with the build. He said this week they should be done, but I'm more realistic as to next week. And then, so we have the old truck back. And also, as per our 10-year replacement on the equipment, every 3 years, we look to trade our loader in, which is one of the most used pieces of equipment. So I've been meeting with the sales reps from John Deere, Caterpillar, getting prices on that. And then more for next month.
Rough idea,
After I'm done picking them up.
rough idea.
I don't know, the current machine we have, they redid a lot of it, and the price. With our machines trade in, the price has gone up almost double what we normally pay for it. So we pretty much eliminated that as an option for us, and we're gonna be stepping down size. Well, kind of hesitant to doing that because we had that same size machine for 15 years. We know it works for us, so John Deere has one that's pretty equivalent. The only problem is nobody has one around here because it's a new model. So we'd like to actually go demo it before we decide that's something that we want to get into. We've already gone to Canadice and demoed Caterpillar model that's the next size down from us. So we're looking at the Caterpillar one is around 30,000 with the trade-in. The John Deere one that we'd like to see, that's around 43 with the trade.
Is the new cat the joystick controlled or is it steering wheel still?
The new 962, which is what we have, that is a joystick model, and it's geared basically strictly for my quarries now. So it's got scales built into it. It's got programmable operating features for each operator, so they can attack the pile differently, and we don't need any of that stuff. Not for the extra $130,000 for the change in the stick price, so. That's where we're at with that.
Oh,
I
thank you.
think I beat them up as much as I can, now we just need to kind of make a decision.
Thanks for that observation.
How far out are they, the cat ones?
Cat one is out a year, which would be when we have money budgeted for it. John Deere one, I can have in 9 months,
It's $10,000.
right? He's actually giving us, he wants to give us 275 for our trade-in, which is more than we actually paid for the machine, so I don't know. Something a little fishy there. He wants to get his equipment in our shop, because right now we're pretty much strictly Caterpillar, so.
Thank you. Supervisor's report. We're still waiting to close the books. That should be done by next meeting. Closed out 23, and then we can generate the report for January and February for the next board meeting. Unfinished business. First item is the total eclipse planning for the town. Best that we don't have one because other folks are doing a great job. For instance, the Finger Lakes Visitors Connection has a great website. On there, you'll see Canadice. The times, the eclipse in Canadice will be about 2:07, peaking at around 3:20, ending around 4:33. Is that a good time to be driving? No. We hope not. But you just don't know who's going to be out there doing it. The farther north you get, if you go to Victor, they get another 30 seconds of totality where it's the total. So Gorham's got the least. Victor's got the most. If you look at the map, it's all there. Ontario County is not officially having anything, but if you go to the Ontario County or the Ontario County Chamber of Commerce or the Finger Lakes Visitors Connection, you can get all the information you want on folks that are having something where folks can stay put during that time. We expect a lot of visitors from this area. There won't be another eclipse until 2144. So it's a big deal.
They said there's gonna be 1 million people extra in the 5-county area.
Yeah, and even more towards Buffalo. But Finger Lakes Community College has 3 different programs you could enroll in costing money, starting at $40, $20, $40, $80, depending on what you want. Bristol Mountain's gonna have something a lot of smaller places, so I'm not aware of anyone in Canada is doing anything commercially. Well, it'd be nice to hear if we do. But again, we'll talk about it one more time, and then on the April board meeting, it'll be after, and hopefully we had nothing to talk about. It was just a great once in a lifetime experience for most of us. So again, Finger Lakes Visitors Connection, it's got a great website. It's just a matter of finding. You can just Google it and you can find out what's going on. Questions? So, no, yes.
I have a source of the classes that you made.
The certified ones? Yes.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, if you're gonna look at it, you've got to have those glasses, otherwise not a good idea. Good. Feel free to, if you have extras and bring them in, we'll.
Oh, I haven't bought them.
Oh, you,
I know a place to buy them.
you can get them free from lots of places.
Ah,
You
Okay.
check the libraries, check back to town hall. I'll try to have some available for some of us. I've had a few. I still got maybe 6 left, but you might not need to buy them, but if you do, they're only a couple dollars, but make sure they're the right ones. That's important. And they have very definite specs on them. Thank you. Anything else on the eclipse? Just a small note, next year with our procurement policy, we will roll in our green policy into that. We talked about that, but just to officially say that. Okay, we're on to new business. Got a resolution to set a time and place for a public hearing to entertain comments pertaining to a septic placement variance at 5943 County Road 37. I'd like to make that motion. I need a second.
I'll second.
All right, we're gonna have Mark second. Those in favor? So, sir, that will be next month. We've set that public hearing. That resolution was approved. Resolution to execute the lease purchase agreement with Real Lease for the highway department.
I make the motion.
Mark makes a motion.
For what?
That's resolution number 2.
New truck.
Truck payment, 4 payments. Resolution number 2 on new business.
Second.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that's the equipment that's already been approved for purchase. This is just the lease agreement, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
We got all our ducks in a row with Real Lease now. Key Bank was a lot easier to work with, but anyways, we got the low bidder. Williamson Law, our favorites, resolution for Town Clerk Plus program. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mark second, those in favor? Appointing Caroline Nestro, who's stepping up from an alternate to a full member of the planning board. Terry moves it.
Second.
Fred second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Reappointment of Kevin Haas to the BAR.
Make the motion.
Mark motions.
Second.
Terry, those in favor? Okay. Municipal Accounting Software Program from Williamson Law Book. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second by Rick. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carries. Resolution for sewer and water software support, Williamson Law Book. Terry moved it.
I'll second.
Rick seconds. Those in favor?
Aye.
That carries. And just as footnote, those monies were not due to Williamson Law, but we actually paid them a little early. So that's why the resolutions are written now. DR plan review, you did get that information. Kate's done a great job putting that together. If there's any other comments, we're gonna forward that out, roll that out to our department heads. Next, Kate and I earlier talked about a vendor list that will be securing. So if something goes down, we've got some paper copies of our key vendors to get us up and running quickly. Anything to add on the disaster recovery plan? Okay. Approval of the bills.
I move to approve the bills.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
That carries. Privilege of the floor. Yes, yes, of course.
Jeremy. When you were looking for signs to replace. Several years ago, somebody plastered. Sonical stickers on several of the. Number plates on County Road 36. And they have never come on.
That would be, an issue for the county. Highway.
All right.
What's wrong with things down there?
All right, thank you.
Well, we had 2 last month and for Williamson Law, and then we did a new program for the CEO department. And that was last month. So we just did 3 this month.
You did all 3 already.
We just did, yep. Williamson Law. There's a lot to decipher, I understand.
Are these? Will have some law application programs that run on the local PC or in the cloud?
Cloud.
Cloud?
Yes. Good question. Good question. And when I'm in New York City, I'll be looking for more modern solutions to our our softwares, because there's great solutions out there. Can you say it? You can say that louder. Which one?
The accounting portion that I use.
Absolutely.
Entering all those vouchers.
It's 30 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't take ones from like 5, 6 years ago and put them in a separate file, so when you're looking for. You're searching through a vendor to find a particular voucher, you gotta go through
Think how much time it would save.
8 years of vouchers.
No, I did. I hear you. Please continue to bring those excellent comments forward.
I have one thing.
I have one thing too, but I forgot what it was. Hopefully I remember.
Is our website ADA compliant? I was talking with, was Tom Flagg, and he was
No.
saying that there's a group going around to all of our town websites and seeing if we're ADA compliant, and if they're not, they're starting a hassle.
Can I ask what you mean by?
I have not a clue. Tom didn't know either. He said it's something that has to be on your website that says you're ADA compliant. And I noticed it today when I was looking up.
Did you find it on another town's website?
Yes.
ADAs, you and I think about it, right?
It's more the size of the font and how friendly it is.
Yes,
So do they have the ability to click on something to make it bigger so they can see it? So someone who's visually impaired?
I don't know the particulars to it. I just know that there has to be a stamp, and I was looking, I think it was on the DMV site. Cause I was registering my car and I saw a thing that popped up that said it was ADA compliant.
Yeah, I was just looking at Canandaigua's website not too long ago.
So I don't know what's involved in it, but I was told that there's a group of people causing trouble.
Hmm.
Right.
Because they can.
Oh, one more thing. And it's interesting because when I go into the town of Canandaigua, when I went on from my town computer, it says it wasn't secure, and it's not. So that's one thing to think about. And there's nothing on the Canandaigua website that jumps out at me, but certainly that's something we can bring up. The Board of Supervisors meets on Thursday, so maybe I can bring that up. See what that's all about. And that was just Tom Flagg?
Yeah, we're at a district meeting.
Okay. Yeah, anyone else has the ears on that, sure. Same.
Christopher, I can look into that. There are new ADA requirements for all websites. They're like 3 or 4 years old. The university had to make a number of changes.
Okay. All right, yeah,
Te-
so interesting, so there definitely is a
Chris.
state ADA then,
Chris,
yes,
I just pulled up the county website. I don't see where you can do anything with stuff there.
correct.
know.
And I would think they would be the leader.
Our county website's awful in fact, until you click on different departments, so the sheriff's, the visitors connection and other departments within the county have gotten their
I
own
don't-
website.
I don't
So-
know about it being awful. I'm just saying.
Well, no,
um,
I'll say awful.
And they're a pretty recent company that they set it up with.
No.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago. I'm just saying.
Right, no, that's good. See if the sheriff's office does it better. Okay, thank you. Other privilege of the floor. This would be like a planning board meeting. It's really quick today.
Right.
Do you remember what you had?
No, I'll remember as soon as I say, I approve motion to adjourn.
Second.
No, I didn't.
Make a motion to adjourn.
There was one other thing you were gonna mention,
Correct.
and that had to do with voting at the conference you're going to.
Yes. And I did circulate that sheet to everyone and they were aware of it. So again, I mean, the delegate.
Thing?
Yes, that,
Certificate of designation?
yes. And I made copies of it just in case it got destroyed, but yes.
I don't know.
So this allows me to-
I didn't know what written was.
This allows me to vote
What?
at the annual meeting on behalf of the town.
These go with it.
Well, that. No, that's something different. And yes, I wanted to mention a great. Any questions on me voting? For
Give
the
you a
town?
paddle.
Okay, thank you. And you did that when you went as well. Mark's done it twice, so I get to do it. This is a letter I got from a resident, basically saying what a great town clerk we have, who went above and beyond. And she didn't know that they were writing this, and I wanted to share this with everyone. And what's interesting is they've actually never met. They live in Florida, but she does a great job. And Eileen, thank you for everything you do for us, the staff, the town, and our residents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Got it. Motion to adjourn.
Terry,
Go ahead.
wake up. Are you motioning to adjourn?
Yeah, I'm making a motion to adjourn. It's the third time.
And a second?
I second.
Thank you.
Rick seconds, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it carries. Thank you. And good night.
Yes. No, what is?
Well, I could have mentioned the Jersey Hill thing. All right. Yeah, just, you probably just need one. They saw it all. Yeah, just okay, just okay. Nice to meet you. See you next month. I kept it short for you. He's actually the